Greetings and welcome back to more F1 25 here on the channel. Today we are about to get ready and get going for round 2 of the championship, and of course that means we are gonna be here in China. And also, as you can see, it is the first sprint weekend of the season, so I think it's 6 sprint weekends that F1 has over the course of a season, and China is the first one, so that just means a lot more racing in this episode than usually. If you haven't watched the previous episode, I would first of all highly suggest that you do that, but as you can see, we managed to grab a very solid P9 and score 2 points for the team in the first round in Australia. And yeah, I don't think there's much more to say apart from the fact that we have a bit of an upgrade. We have a tiny upgrade that has propelled us, as you can see, past Alpine in the progress chart here in the development race. And as you can also see right here, we have a lot, and I mean a lot, of minor upgrades that are currently in development. So hopefully we will get them at some point. That would be very lovely indeed. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. I've already completed practice, the single practice session that is on a sprint weekend, so we are ready to get into sprint qualifying. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be wet, but we are going to have to deal with that as best as possible.
Well, here we go again. Welcome back to Shanghai. Welcome back to qualifying in China. And this is a technical, tricky track. Whoever takes pole is going to deserve it.
And it looks like it might be somewhere between intermediates and full wets in terms of conditions. I would think intermediates maybe, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, the team thinks intermediates as well. What is the predicted forecast? It says it's gonna keep raining, so there's probably not a whole lot of reason to just stay in, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Just really quickly, we'll fix this. There we go. And I can see Alonso is already out. Is he also? Let's quickly check. He's out on intermediates. I saw my teammate also out on intermediates. Alright. Well, I don't think there's anything for it to just brave it out.
Take it easy to start with, the track's very wet.
And see what we can do. It has to be said that this is not my favorite track by any stretch of the imagination, so we might find it a little bit tricky here, but we'll do our very best and see what we can do here in sprint qualifying. So it's very similar. It's pretty much the same as a usual qualifying session. And obviously, for those who don't know what a sprint race is, it's basically just where instead of you have your usual 3 practice sessions throughout the weekend just before qualifying, instead there is only 1 practice session, and then there are, instead of the last 2 practice sessions, a qualifying session, which is the one we are currently in right now, and a smaller race, which is 1/3 of the race distance that the normal race is. So it is an interesting concept. There's a divided opinions about it, which is fairly understandable in my opinion, but overall, I mean, it gives us more racing throughout a weekend, and it gives teams less practice time to dial in the perfect setup. And speaking of setups, we are running a dry setup. I'm not quite sure what the weather is going to be like in the actual sprint race, but we will see. We'll see. But let's see what we can do here. We are just coming around to start our first qualifying session. And let's see what we can do. I mean, anything... Oh, a little bit wide there, but it's okay. We just need to progress into the top 15 as usual. So there's no need to push it just as hard quite yet, but still trying to go for a fast lap is always a nice little thing. But yeah, this being probably one of my worst tracks, combined with conditions I'm not usually good in, I'm not expecting something spectacular here, unfortunately. But that remains to be seen. Very tricky conditions. It's like right on the cusp of actually being full wets, I think. So yeah, tricky conditions. The car, it's not really doing exactly what I want, but it is what it is. We're gonna have to deal with it. I think we might have to go again after this one. Big slide there, coming out of the long snail corner leading onto the back straight, and we're going to burn off all of our ERS here. Then into the heavy hairpin braking zone, catching up to Hamilton. Oh, a little bit eager on the throttle there. And then through the final corner. What kind of lap are we looking at here? Is it any good? It's okay. It's alright.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
At least we're faster than both Bortoleto and Gasly, and it seems like also faster than Alonso and Antonelli. So far, so good. Just gonna let the Sauber past here. That is Nico Hülkenberg. We don't want to hold up anyone here. We're also going to get out of the way of the Red Bulls as quickly as possible. And that is Max Verstappen past us. Norris has beaten our lap time, which is to be expected. But yeah, a good first banker lap here.
Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
And we are coming into the pits. Not really eager to get out on track again unless it's absolutely necessary towards the end of the qualifying session. But let's wait and see. But it looks to be a decent banker lap. Maybe, I'm not sure.
The radar suggests that this heavy rain will be with us for a while now.
Okay, so it's not lightening up. That's good to know. So being out early might actually have been the correct play right here, which is nice. It's always nice to get a good strategy call. Hadjar in front of us now, so the V-Carb has found a little bit more pace than us. That's okay. That is to be expected. And we are going into the pits. There is 5 minutes remaining in this quali session before we head on to SQ2. But it seems like so far it was the right play. So everything good so far, at least. We're getting wheeled into the garage here. Now let's see if it's going to be necessary to go out again. I might have my doubts that it will. But let's always be on our toes. Let's see here. What are the lap times looking like? So myself, Norris and Hadjar are the only ones who've broken into the 49s. Everyone else is a 50 or up. Ollie is quite far behind, so he has really not put it together. How many cars are out on track right now? There's a little bit of traffic, but it's nothing too serious at the moment. I mean, it looks like we're gonna go through. Science improves. Yeah, it's... saying that though, Russell, a 147. So he's really found the pace here, the Mercedes driver. It is to be expected though. What about Tsunoda? Let's follow the Japanese driver here. See what he can do. A 149, so he jumps to third. Okay. So a couple of drivers are improving. Both Red Bulls in front of us now. Verstappen has also improved, it seems. But am I taking the chance here? I'm gonna... oh, what to do. There's a lot of traffic out on track. And there are some more drivers coming out. Is it lightening up a little bit? Let's have a look. Doesn't look like the conditions are getting better. What about Ollie? Is he improving? Let's see here. Where is he? There he is. 19th. Okay, so it doesn't look like the track is getting faster. I think we can just fast forward here. And we should be through to SQ2. No problem. But let's see. Let's not celebrate too early.
That concludes sprint qualifying. So much action still to come this weekend.
And you can see that the change in weather has really jumbled up the grid here. The only really usually placed drivers are Russell, Verstappen, Tsunoda and Norris. Then we have Hadjar, myself, Hulkenberg and Bortoleto, both making it through. And same with Gasly and Colapinto. So that's quite surprising. What is even more surprising, though, is that Charles Leclerc did not make it through to SQ2. And that is a bad look for Ferrari. Our teammate as well, not making it through. So the grid has really been jumbled up here. And has it lightened up anyway? No, it hasn't. So we're still going to be on intermediate tires. We're just going to give it a little bit of time to see. I mean, it could improve ever so slightly. I'm going to wait until there's like 5 minutes left. Let's see. What are we looking at here? We're still looking at intermediate, so I mean, it should be fine.
The track is wet right now. Feel your way around the conditions before you start pushing the car.
Doesn't look like it's going to get any better, so I think we should just head out on track and get our flying lap in. We found a little gap here with no traffic. We're out just ahead of the Williams and the Ferrari. That is fine by me. Let's see if it's going to be necessary to let them past. I don't think it will, but let's wait and see. Yeah, the rain is still falling quite heavily, or not as heavy as it would be necessary for full wets, but it is still nowhere near dry enough for the slick tires. I don't think it will be anytime soon.
We've dropped to P11.
At the moment, as Mark said, P11. You can see it's still very, very wet indeed. Antonelli with the fastest lap here in SQ2. We're going to let a couple of drivers past here. Sainz and who's this? This is Hamilton, of course. Leclerc did not make it through. We're just going to give them some space. And then we should be ready to begin our lap. So let's see what we can do here in SQ2. A little bit aggressive over the curb there, that was not necessary. We have 3 minutes just about to go. And the car is a bit of a handful, but it's not completely drowning quite yet. Power is very difficult to apply, but so far so good. Purple sector 1. And that is what rain does. It bunches up the grid a whole lot more. And if we have just caught the track at a better condition than some of the other drivers, I mean, we are gonna do quite well. Whoa, big slide there. But we managed to save it. Into the snail section, probably the trickiest corner on the track. So difficult to get the power down. Whoa! 2 big slides there, and we're going to lose a whole loads of time here. Do we have enough fuel for one last ditch effort if this proves not to be good enough? Bit of a clumsy lap, unfortunately, but let's see what this is good enough for.
That's us pushed down into P15.
And we are currently P4. Alright, that should be fine.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
That should be fine. We are behind Colapinto, who is up into P3, so the Alpines are really benefiting from this weather change that we are seeing. That is very surprising, to say the very least. But yeah, we should be good for to go through with this lap time. It shouldn't be a problem. And that means in our first sprint, we are going to be in the shootout for the top 10. One difference though compared to the normal Grand Prix, if you haven't been watching Formula 1 before, sprints, it's only the top 8 who score points as opposed to the top 10 in the actual Grand Prix. So there is a bit of a difference. But yeah, Antonelli at the moment at the front. Not quite at the front though, but he is where it is fun. We are obviously still running 107% AI, much like we did in Australia. So no changes there. And into the pits we go. We should be good to go through, and it doesn't seem like there's anyone out on track really attempting to improve. So that should see us through to SQ3, which is super nice. And there we go, P4 in SQ2, and we are through to the final qualifying.
Well, that concludes sprint qualifying. So much action still to come this weekend.
And yeah, once again, bit of a shocker for some of the bigger teams, especially Red Bull. They have lost Yuki Tsunoda, and McLaren have lost Oscar Piastri in this qualifying session. And I would say the surprising part is that both Alpines and Bortoleto have both, or all three of them, have made it through to SQ3. So that is definitely a surprise. And is it still raining? It very much is. It doesn't look like it's gonna ease up. So I think, should we take... let's see. I think we should go for one
Take it easy to start
lap
with, the track's very
on
wet.
a one set of intermediates, and then we try a final attempt on a fresh set. And let's see what we can do. Get out early and get it done. Rain is still falling, it's not easing up by any means. So these conditions will continue all the way through. So we're gonna have to deal with it. It looks as if it might get a little bit heavier maybe later on, but obviously we don't know. I'm gonna try something different here in this qualifying session on the worn tires here. Just gonna try a different strategy. In terms of... Whoa. Nah, it should be fine. There's no need to start experimenting just yet, but let's see what we can do. We are towards the front, it seems, at least here in qualifying in the wet. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna give Colapinto a bit of room here before we start our first of two attempts here in SQ3. Everyone out on track at the moment. Into turn one, this long right-hander that just seems to go on forever. And then onto the power very gently. We are purple in sector 1, no surprises there. As it is no one who has posted a lap time yet. Oh, bit of a mistake there. We're heading into the pits at the end of this one.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
And we'll get the new set of tires on, and then we should be good for a single attempt. There's a little bit less time than I expected, and that I anticipated. But yeah, into the pits, and we should have okay time to go around on a fresh set of intermediates. So into the pits with us. Bit of a blunder from my side, but it is what it is. We all make mistakes. George Russell on provisional sprint pole so far. We have to do a little bit of a change here. Bit of a mistake from my side, but it is what it is. So into the garage, and we fit the fresh set of intermediates, and then we should be good to go. Just before the end of sprint qualifying. There we go. And there is a big gap out on track at the moment.
Okay, engines fired up, we're set.
That we could filter right into, so we should be the last driver to come around and complete our qualifying lap, which hopefully will give us the best conditions. And it is very much still raining, so no changes there. But a bit of normality has restored itself. Alpine and Sauber at the back at the moment. And realistically, we are just looking to get ahead of Gasly for P7. I would be very surprised if we are fighting any of the front drivers. We have 1 minute and 1.5 minutes remaining before we have to start our final lap, so we have plenty of time. So there should be no problems there. Alrighty, so it's going to be a last attempt here in China to see how we do in sprint qualifying. But I must say the mixed conditions have really come into its own here. It's played our favor here, which I did not expect. But here we go, rounding the final corner.
30 seconds left in the session.
Let's see what we can do. This is going to be the final attempt with the only driver out on track at the moment. So we have it all to ourselves to try and displace the drivers in front of us. It should be possible, as I mentioned earlier, especially the Sauber and the Alpines. So far, so good. Purple Sector 1. Now the middle sector, which has been the tricky part for this car, especially these two corners. There's been a lot of sliding around during practice. I had some problems through those two corners especially. A little bit of sliding there. Into the snail section. And then the final real task. Oh, do not go over those curbs. We lose a little bit of time there through the snail. It is what it is. Into the hairpin we go. Now, where's this going to put us on the grid for the sprint race here in Shanghai? Let's see. It is... What is it going to be? It's not... What is it? P5. Alright, that's pretty decent. That is pretty decent, actually. I think we lost a lot of time through the corner that leads onto the back straight, the long snail.
Well, that concludes sprint qualifying. So much action still to come this weekend.
But George Russell takes sprint pole position here in Shanghai, and he does it by over half a second to second place Lewis Hamilton. So all things considered, we posted the exact same lap time as Carlos Sainz, but because he posted it first, he gets the advantage of starting ahead of us. Wow. Okay, so we were kind of close to P4 actually. Like, I mean, only 1,000th of a second away from actually qualifying ahead of the Williams. So overall, a decent qualifying session from us. And all things considered, I mean, we did out-qualify Behrman. That is all we need to do. And here we go. Look at this. The sprint, even though it's only 10 laps, it looks like it's going to be mixed conditions. So, question is it really either going to be dry enough for the slicks, or is it even going to be wet enough to start on the intermediates? I guess we'll find out. Let's get into the first race of this race weekend, the sprint here in Shanghai. And let's see what the weather has to present for us. 'Cause strategy could become a real thing here if it dries up quick enough, or if it's not wet enough. There could be a gamble here that could pay off, but let's wait and see. It's taking a little bit of time, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Here we go. Let's see. Ooh, it's not as heavy.
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We are expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some tricky conditions for all the teams.
Definitely. But you can see it's not as heavy as it was in qualifying. So...
The ever-tightening turns 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance.
Oh, yeah.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint.
So let's see the grid here.
George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Iceman, and Antonelli, Norris, Gasly, Bortoleto, and Franco Colapinto, Tsunoda, Alonso, Oscar Piastri, and Hadjar, Hülkenberg, Leclerc, Alex Albon, and Lance Stroll. Behrman and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So once again, different ends of the grid for the Haas boys.
Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. So a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. Yeah. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
But you can see at the hairpin, it's barely raining.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
Absolutely. Let's do that. And it is predicting around lap 7 is when the track is set to dry up. So I don't think we're going to have any dry running in this sprint. But that remains to be seen. But off on the formation lap for the sprint. And luckily we do have the outside. That is always the preferred line here at China. Into turn 1. Because you are a lot less likely to run into the back of someone. Due to a brake check or something. So that is always nice.
You're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
10 more minutes. That is around lap... Yeah, around lap 7. For when the track is set to dry up. You can see the rain is nowhere near as heavy as it was in qualifying. Much fewer drops. But that just makes the intermediate tires better to actually drive on, because it's a little bit more greasy instead of actual wet. Which is, I mean, a greasy surface is where the intermediates are actually performing the best compared to the full wet tires. So these conditions are suiting the Inters significantly more than what it was in qualifying. So that is nice. That is very nice. And once again, I mean, we've done 2 qualifying sessions so far in this career mode. And both times we are at the sharp end of the grid. Qualifying very close to the front. We are comfortably beating our teammate. Now let's just try and avoid silly mistakes like the ones we made in Australia. We're just heating up everything here and getting ready for the race today. Hopefully we can maybe gain 1 or 2 positions off the line. That would be very much appreciated. But it's also not necessary. So let's just keep it nice and clean into turn 1. That is the most important thing.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
Here we go.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
So, on the grid for the first sprint race of the season here in Shanghai. The 5 red lights are on, and once they go out, we are racing. And we get a decent start, actually. It was pretty decent. Sainz squeezes us to the inside. We get shown the outside. And Antonelli on the inside here. Was that Antonelli? I'm not quite sure. It is Antonelli. He gets past us, unfortunately. So the exchange there between myself and Sainz led to Antonelli getting past, but we're getting it a 2-for-1 here. Maybe. If we can get the traction. Yes, there we go. We are past both Antonelli and Sainz into turn 3. Good stuff. And now we just need to settle down, get the race under control, and then manage our tires.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
See what we can do. There's no DRS, obviously, so that's something we have to forget about. So let's see, we just need to defend as hard as possible. It's going to be difficult. Sainz has gotten still ahead of Antonelli. Into the hairpin for the first time. Sainz down the inside. doesn't quite get it though, and Hamilton and Verstappen are battling in front of us, so that's going to hold them up. But we managed to defend from Sainz initially. Now we just need to settle into the rhythm, find our rhythm. More importantly, look at the closing ability we have on Verstappen and Hamilton through turn 1. Then going out of turn 2, we lose a little bit. It's not too bad though. Had we been a little bit closer, could maybe have gone for a move on Verstappen, but it's not quite possible just yet. And you see the dirty air, how they are able to cope a little bit better with it than what we are. But so far we're doing good. And remember, it's only 10 laps we have to do this for, so we're already 20% into this sprint race. But the difference in ability here is clearly showing. We're having to use a lot of our ERS down this back straight. Sainz is going to attack us into the hairpin. We're going to try and hang it around the outside. And once again, the Spaniard not quite able to get the move done. So that's good stuff. Meanwhile, George Russell has just pulled away out in front. He is all by his lonesome, it seems, at the start of this sprint race. To save a little bit of ERS here. We're sticking with Verstappen and Hamilton at the moment. Whoa, big slide. Good catch once again. We do have to be careful that we're not pushing too hard. And maybe destroying the tires. Whoa! A little too eager on the throttle there. Oh, big slide again. Fuel is looking decent, and as for the tires, we're also doing okay. Sainz again trying to attack us. He's not going to quite be able to do it once again. Oh, he had his nose down the inside. It was a late move. And he has to bail out. And as a result, I think Antonelli was trying to get past him as well. So that is going to relieve us from the pressure of Sainz, ever so slightly. What is the tire wear like? That's okay at the moment. We're doing fine. We are doing fine at the moment. Whoa! Oh, a bit of a mistake there from my side. Luckily, it seems like Sainz and Antonelli are fighting so hard that they have lost contact with us. So even with that mistake, it wasn't quite enough.
I don't think the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a little while longer.
Copy that. I was just about to ask Mark whether he thinks it's getting close to the dries. But he obviously doesn't think. Antonelli finally gets past Carlos Sainz. Only took him about 4 laps.
Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past.
Yeah, no problem. Don't worry. I think we've got everything under control. The thing about the intermediates as well, compared to the slicks, and I mean, this also goes for the wets. They are actually better once you've rubbered them in a little bit with
okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
They are a little bit better once you've done maybe 3 or 4 laps on them, because then they start to stick really nicely. So these intermediates at the moment, they are really feeling very nice, very grippy, very yeah, as an intermediate tire should feel. Oh, we have to run a little bit wide here, unfortunately. Didn't quite get the
line.
line.
I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
Let's see. What kind of weather we are looking into. Antonelli has broken away from Sainz behind. And is slowly starting, I think he's slowly starting to catch back up. And now Norris as well has gotten past Sainz. So Sainz seems to be holding up the pack behind. And
gap to your teammate behind, 15.5 seconds.
Right now we need to start looking at the tire temps and keeping them under control. We're halfway through the sprint, but as you can see, it's pretty much stopped raining. And I suspect we might start to see a dry line forming soon. But Hamilton is slow. Don't know what this is all about. Whoa! Big moment there, once again. Whoa! The curb is trying to kill me once again. And it has now stopped raining. Now it's just a question of when and if the slicks become a viable option. I'm not quite sure, but look at how much Antonelli and Norris have been catching. Absolutely crazy. What are the others doing? They are staying out for now. Verstappen with the fastest lap.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
That's fine, Mark. Oi! We run very deep there into turn 1. We need to focus up now. Hamilton again slow through these corners. I do see that someone has written in the live chat. It's not that I don't want to read it, it's just very difficult whilst you are driving at nearly 300 kilometers an hour, trying to not end up in a wall. DRS is still yet to be activated. I still can't figure this corner out. We're gonna have to use some of our ERS to try and defend from Antonelli. It could be difficult regardless, because he is in a much faster car. Heading into the hairpin. But we have to leave a little bit of space there for the Italian. But we managed to defend from him. And Verstappen once again with the fastest lap.
Okay, gap to the car in front, 1.5 seconds.
Thank you very much for absolutely talking over me there, Mark. I wanted to ask you about the weather situation, but apparently you didn't want to listen. What are the tires looking like? Starting to get warm. You can see the tire temps, especially on that left rear tire, starting to get a little bit out of hand. It is also the rear tire that is under the most amount of pressure during, or stress should I say, during this race. What is the weather situation?
Green flag.
Oh my days, can you stop interrupting me, Mark? It's like when he hears me activate the radio, it's like, oh, I need to talk over him. But Bortoleto out of the race, and we are having our own little hair.
Okay, radar is clear, weather is looking good for now.
Okay.
Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Antonelli got past us. It's going to be a 3 white moment into the hairpin. Around the outside though. Russell again with the fastest lap, so no one is boxing. It seems like everyone is going to the end. I mean, with 2 laps to go, that does make sense. We need to keep that left rear tire under control though, because it is slowly getting out of hand at the moment, and I can start feeling it. And it is making it a little bit more tricky. But still no DRS activation just yet, which is really good for us, because I think if the DRS gets activated, I think Antonelli and Norris might just get past me without any trouble. But I'm also very surprised that it hasn't been activated yet.
Okay, gap ahead, 3.0 seconds.
Thank you, Mark. We're not looking ahead. Here we go again. Activate the ERS. Let's see what we can do. Antonelli absolutely flying here. We're going to be in the middle here. No, we're not. We're going to sail. Ooh. Ooh, we hit the back of Antonelli's Mercedes. I think that might be it. Whoa! Antonelli is heading into the pits. On the last lap, what on earth are Mercedes doing? No!
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
No way. And Albon is out of the race. So after Antonelli overtook us, he instantly jumps into the pits. I don't think we're going to be able to get Norris though, so we're going to have to maybe try and settle for P5 here. It's going to be difficult though, because Sainz is right behind us. We're going to have to save up some ERS for the back straight. And did Antonelli maybe have a collision with Norris that resulted in heavy front wing damage? Whoa, big slide there. And we are absolutely wrestling this car back home. And we have to contend with this snail section once more. Lance Stroll has been disqualified. What on earth has he been doing that has warranted a disqualification? We can't worry about that now because we have Carlos Sainz flying down our outside. We're going to get into the slipstream of the Spaniard, and we are going to absolutely try and send it around the outside on him. Max Verstappen posts the fastest lap. I'm pretty sure George Russell has won the sprint, but after a hard-thought battle here in Shanghai, we come home to finish P5 in the sprint.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And that is actually a pretty decent result, I have to say. Whew. But there we go, driver of the day, Lando Norris. He did also start quite far behind, so for him to make it into the points, that is quite good.
That is it for the sprint. Join us next time for qualifying and, of course, the main event, the Grand Prix. We will see you when Formula One returns.
So George Russell wins from Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton completes the sprint podium ahead of Norris, myself, Sainz. Gasly gets 2 points for Alpine, so that is quite nice for them. And Piastri, the last point scorer here in the sprint. Antonelli... I mean, I don't know what happened at all. It was a crazy sprint, though. Whew. There we go. And the sprint has been completed. Let me see what it says here in the live chat. Cancel your plans. F1 in 2025 is going to be one for the history books. It is Norris versus Verstappen versus Piastri. Who will we call the world champion? That is true. In terms of our championship in this alternate universe, well, it's pretty much the same situation. As you can see, Piastri currently leading the championship by a single point. So those 2 points that he managed to scrape home in the sprint, very, very valuable for the Australian as he retains the lead ahead of Verstappen. And then we have Lando Norris currently chasing them down in P3. Hamilton and Leclerc are still within striking distance, though. They haven't been dropped at all. And you could say the same for George Russell. We're currently sitting P8 in the driver's standings behind Antonelli after a solid sprint. And which country am I representing? That is Denmark. So unfortunately, we no longer have an actual Formula One driver in Formula One. Last driver we had in Formula One was Kevin Magnussen, who coincidentally also drove for Haas, as we are getting ready to get into the real qualifying here ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix.
Well, here we go again. Welcome back to Shanghai. Welcome back to qualifying in China. And this is a technical, tricky track. Whoever takes pole is going to deserve it.
And thank you for the compliments on the quality. It is the highest possible quality that I can stream in as well. So, I mean, it's good to hear that it is high quality. Or did you mean high quality as in it's entertaining? I might have misunderstood that one. I realize. So, I might have made a fool of myself there. Regardless, it's much appreciated. But here we go. We're loading a car setup for the Grand Prix. We are ready to get into qualifying, and this one is going to be a little bit more straightforward. It is set to be dry. I do appreciate that, Lily. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. That means a lot. I hope you do enjoy it. So, but yeah, we are ready to get out on track here for the first part of qualifying. I think this one is going to be a little bit more tricky than the sprint qualifying, mainly because
okay, guys, everyone be aware
we don't have the wet weather to mask our imperfections, and that could expose us a little bit to the pace of some of the other drivers. So that remains to be seen. I'm not a full-time streamer, no. At the moment, I have a lot of time on my hands, so I decided to get back into streaming, which is a very enjoyable activity in my opinion. So that is, I guess, the gist of it, the how it works. Oh, and now I have to get used to a dry track, very different to a damp track. Best of luck, thank you very much. Once again, the support is always appreciated, and as I said, it means a lot that someone would take the time to sit down and enjoy, or hopefully enjoy, the content that I am making. So it means a lot. But yeah, we are ready to get going here in qualifying. And is it different? Yes. It's the same track, so we obviously know the layout. I have to get used to some different braking zones. And a lot more grip, that is for sure. So let's get into it. Let's see what we can do on our first attempt here. I do apologize for the cough. Into turn 1 we can carry so much more speed, and it is probably one of the more tricky turn 1 combinations here on the calendar with this continuous curve. Many of the corners here at Shanghai are actually very tricky, believe it or not, and we brake a little bit late there. We managed to hit the apex still, so no biggie there. And into this a little bit more difficult, and you have to keep it flat here. A small tap off the brake, lift off a little bit, and then this traction zone once again. These can be tricky. There used to be a DRS zone here back in the day. There is no longer, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure why they removed it, but reasons. And onto the back straight here. Burn a lot of the ERS as we activate the DRS. And into the hairpin, we have to remember, brake around here to be able to hit the apex. And then the short run into the final corner, which is a very fast left-hander. We have to commit fully. And over the line, we are P7 behind Russell and Sainz.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
But we are ahead of Lawson and Stroll, so all good so far, at least it seems. But there we go, that's our first attempt. That should probably be good enough for a Q2 entry.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
So back to the pits it is, and let's see if we will need another attempt. I'm not quite sure, because being amongst the V-Carbs and the Williams drivers, it usually means that we are right on the cusp of maybe not making it through. But who knows? But it felt like a decent lap, if I'm gonna be totally honest. It felt like a decent lap. I do appreciate also the compliments to my my logo and I suppose also the banner, the channel banner. It's all custom made by myself, so yeah. But I appreciate the compliments of the quality. I try to do my best, obviously. I want to produce high quality. Both content but also visuals. So I do hope that it's showing all across the channel. So yeah. But our first attempt here in qualifying done. And I think it should be good enough for, as I said, participation in Q2. Let's see what are the others doing. So we're not that much faster than Liam Lawson at the moment. We are a good chunk of time ahead of Lance Stroll. Antonelli with a bit of a scruffy first lap. Let's see how it pans out. Let's accelerate time by a little bit. Let's see where we are. So 5 minutes to go. We are right on the edge, actually. And with both Antonelli and Verstappen in the drops. So Verstappen is technically not in the drop zone at the moment. Antonelli is. I'm expecting him to improve. We could be... What has happened to the Saubers? How are they so fast? They should be nowhere near this fast. That is quite surprising. At the moment, no activity out on track. So I think we might have to go for a second attempt. It looks like Q3 is going to be a little bit more difficult in this one than it is usual, or than it was in Australia. I do appreciate the how would you call it? Not suggestion, but the what is the word I'm looking for? For the you know, I appreciate it, Lily, but I can't find the word that I'm looking for, unfortunately. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. It's going to sound a little bit rude, but please don't take it in a rude way. But I do prefer that this channel is just my
down to P13.
My own little creative part of the internet, and as long as I can. I mean, if it picks up, who knows? Maybe I will need to collaborate with people to keep up the good work. But for now, I mean, it's just a hobby that I'm trying to do. But I do appreciate your comments, and that you are, yeah, suggesting it. But I'm gonna have to say thank you. Contribute, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Again, English not my first language, but anyway, we are ready to get going here. Second attempt in qualifying. Not going to be able to read the chat that much, but let's give it a good try. Heading into turn 1. much better, at least initially. And then through turn 2. We gained 2.5 tenths through the first 2 corners, so that is quite good. Into turn 3. That was also quite good, so we are 2.5 tenths up. Oh, we almost dropped it there. The steering wheel got very, very light. A little bit wide there. We are just about 4 tenths up. We have a lot more ERS going on to the back straight here this time. Now we just need a good exit out of this corner and everything should be good. Oh, we run the curb a little bit high there, but it's all good. We're going to stop deploying here and then into the last corner. Good braking zone there. And then we are going to improve here as long as we don't invalidate, which we don't, so that is good.
And that's P13, P13.
And P6 we managed to improve to.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
So all good, half a minute to go in qualifying. That should be it. We found a lot of time there, which also was necessary because I think there was a lot of drivers that were going to improve maybe. But we are through to Q2 for the second race in a row. We are through, and we are really showing our teammate how it's done. Qualifying has been completed. Good stuff. And yeah, this track though, it is a lot more fun than I initially thought. We're faster than Verstappen. What on earth is happening here? So we're faster than Verstappen. Obviously he hasn't opened up the gates completely. I've accidentally left my ERS on, so that was not smart. Yeah.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
We are safely through to the next part of qualifying, so no problems there. I was starting to think that it might actually get difficult to go through, but turns out there was nothing to worry about. And into the pits we go. And if we can keep this up, we should be good to go through to Q3. If everything is to be expected, if others improve with a similar amount of pace, we should be good for Q3, maybe. But it is right on the cusp. And Ollie is coming in as well. Did he actually make it through? I'm not quite sure. Let's see. But there we go. P6 in Q1. Decent. Bortoleto is absolutely punching above his weight in P4. That's impressive. Colapinto as well, I would say. And for Ollie, no, it is P19 and an exit out of qualifying here. Same for Antonelli. Oh, Mercedes in real trouble. Same with McLaren. What on earth is happening here? McLaren and Mercedes, they could be in trouble in Q2 if they're not careful. And the unfortunate thing now for us is that we only have one set of fresh tires. So we're going to have to use a scrubbed set here at the beginning of Q2. Should be fine.
Check's complete. Everyone be aware, we've got a car leaving the garage.
But it is never optimal to have to do this. But it is what it is. And a lot of activity here at the beginning, initially. We did touch the grass there, that's not quite good. We are out behind Lawson. So the V-Carbs are also doing quite nicely for themselves. They're not usually in this position, but McLaren is gonna have to find something. Otherwise they could risk being out here at the end of Q2 if Q1 is to go by. Same for Mercedes. So let's see what they can do. We're just preparing nice and slowly. Warming up the tires. And the scrubbed set, I mean, it's not going to need as much work as a new set. It's not as big of a problem. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Ooh. It's not optimal, but we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to post a banker lap on a scrubbed set of tires, and then we're going to have to go on the new set afterwards. Here we go, beginning our flying lap. Oh, we didn't quite get the DRS activation correct there. So already some small improvements to find. And we are catching up to Bortoleto. He's just come out of the pits, so he should get out of the way. Whoa, big slide there. Bit of a mistake there. And is Gabby going to let us past? Not quite. He's going to get in the way here. Not optimal. But it is what it is. Oi, big slide again. But we are catching these, so we're still yet to end up into a wall. We did do it in Australia though, but it wasn't race ending, thankfully. And onto the back straight for the first banker of Q2. Into the hairpin. Oh, we brake a little too late there, I think. And then onto the final corner. A little bit over the curbs there, but it is what it is. We're behind Sainz, so not optimal.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
And now Gabby is going to be closing up to us, so we're going to let him past. And there's a whole heap of cars catching up to us here. So we're just going to get out of the way. And the McLaren as well. There we go. And we are going into the pits to get the fresh set of softs. And the good thing is, if we make it through to Q3, we get a free set of softs that has been reserved just in case you make it through. So we don't need to think about Q3 just yet.
Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
That's fine, Mark. So far, so good. We're doing decently. What does the engine wear look like? It's not too bad. Obviously, we are going to be at a deficit at a track like this with so many huge straights.
If we don't get into 10th or higher, we're not going to progress to the shootout. Give it your best shot. Come on.
And we are currently P11. So we are currently not in Q3 as it stands. That is unfortunate. That means we're going to have to find some decent improvement on our next lap. And that is obviously not the place we want to be in. Don't want to be in a situation where we have to necessarily find the improvements, but it is the situation as it is. And we are looking in from the outside, which is always a tricky spot to be in. But let's see. I mean, we still have a fresh set of softs to use. Let's see what kind of lap time we need to find. I'm gonna wait until there's 5 minutes to go. So currently Yuki Tsunoda is the man in P10, and we need to find just shy of a second. We need to find a little bit more than a second, I think, to guarantee our progression. If we could find more, we would also jump Colapinto. And ideally, I would like to be near where Colapinto is, because I don't think Gasly made it through. No. So around this place, a P8 or P9 would be ideal.
Okay, when you're ready, let's go.
But let's see. I mean, a fresh set of tires can do wonders. We have seen it before. So let's see what we can do. We are the first one out. So we're going to have to do the work, the dirty work, and we might not progress, but we're going to have to push as hard as possible. There were plenty of mistakes on the banker lap though, so there is good improvement to be found. Absolutely. It's not like we can't find the improvements. And 1 second, I mean, with the 3 mistakes, or the 3 big mistakes,
P15.
that should not be a problem at all to find that 1 second. But of course, Tsunoda can also improve, and I think he is likely to go out again. So I wouldn't discount that we could be out here. But we're going to give it our all. Let's see what we can do. Again, it's not my favorite track, so I'm by no means expecting a very solid result here in this weekend. And I think the fact we've already scored points in the sprint should be an achievement in itself. But here we go. Let's begin this final attempt that we have ahead of us. We get a poor start to the lap, unfortunately. Heading into turn 1. Oh, that's the wrong line. I had the sun in my eyes. That's unfortunate. We do find a little bit of time though. And coming out of turn 2, we found 2 tenths. So already finding improvements on this lap. And we are half a second up on our first attempt. That is decent. Whoa! Again, steering wheel getting very light. Oh! And that might be it for us in qualifying. How much time do we have left? I mean, we can charge the car back up again. We might have enough fuel for one more attempt. But that is going to have damaged the tires. Ah, that sucks. So bad. But yeah, we have plenty of time to do another attempt. Get the car charged back up. We should have the necessary fuel as well. Ah, we were on such good pace as well. But we're going to have to try and do it on what is now a scrubbed set of tires. It is what it is. I mean, you can't win them all.
Right, that's us pushed down into P15.
We're going to have to try and go again. See what we can do. It was by no means optimal heading onto the lap, but and a good first couple of corners. Decent, again, not quite as good as the first botched attempt, but it is what it is. We are half a second up now. Now we just need to keep it pointing in the right direction. This is where we made the mistake on the previous lap. Big slide there. 8/10 up. I might have used a little bit too much ERS around the lap. But let's see. Onto the back straight. Pretty much good for fuel. This is going to have to be a mega final couple of corners. Get the power down nicely, and then the final corner. Oh, big slide. We are going to improve by just 9/10. I don't think that's enough. Oh no, P11. It's not quite enough, and I think Yuki Tsunoda might have survived that one. I think he was the one who was in P10. No, it's Isaac Hadjar. Okay. Ah, and we were just so close. 2/10. And I think that comes down to ERS management across the entirety of the lap. So, that sucks. But yeah, we're going to be starting P11 for the Chinese Grand Prix. It was a good attempt, though. I mean, for it not being my strongest track, I think this is a good result, nonetheless. Let's see. We're going to get a little bit of pace experience here. That's going to boost our overall rating as well. But so close. I think it was around 2/10 that was in it. And I think that final corner, I mean, I lost maybe a 10th there. And then the ERS usage across the entirety of the lap. Maybe another 10th or half. It's difficult to say. But there we go. Race ahead of us. It looks like it's going to be dry throughout the entirety. Maybe midway through it could get a little bit damp. According to the predictions. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's much more than that. But we have 28 laps ahead of us to try and scrape some points. So let's see what we can do. And I am curious who got pole position ahead of the race here in China. Because you usually always get to know. But we haven't been told yet. So who knows? But yeah, we're just waiting for the game to load, and then we are ready to get into the fun part of the weekend. Let's see. Here we go. Shanghai sunny.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us
That
once
is nice.
again. A race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles per hour with DRS assistance down the back straight before the cars break into the tight hairpin at turn 14.
Oh, yeah.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race.
Let's see what the grid is like then.
Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position.
Oh, it was
edging out
close,
Max
though.
Verstappen, who will start from P2.
It was
Looking
close.
down the rest of the grid, we have
Less than a tenth.
Piastri, Leclerc, George Russell and Hamilton, Tsunoda, Alonso, Hadjar and Franco Colapinto, Iceman, Hulkenberg, Liam Lawson and Sainz, Antonelli, Gasly, Ollie Behrman and Lance Stroll, Bortoletto and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
So McLaren really bouncing back from a
Welcome
poor
to the commentary
sprint.
box. I'm Alex
That is
Jakes.
nice to see.
Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. Well, it's an excellent sprint yesterday, but we're back to the usual format now. How do they continue what they started?
Absolutely. You know, they're at one with their car. You could see that in the sprint. That's why they were successful there. And you've got to carry that through into this race today. And in a way, we've had a snapshot as well of what this driver's capable of.
Absolutely. So here we go.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
And Mark saying the exact same thing as me. That's very nice. It's a two-stopper. Okay, so a predicted two-stopper. Interesting. Do we not have a second set of mediums? No, we don't. I do not want that. No, wait. Hang on a minute. Can I remove? I want to remove this stint right here. This one, let's flick that to a hard tire. I'm not allowed. That is because I am currently... There we go. I think we can push these quite far. And then obviously... it's so difficult to say. I think that... Let's just go back to the original strategy. With the hard tire, the good thing is that we can just see how it goes, and we can swap as we go. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Warming up the car, starting a little bit further down than we are used to, but it's all good. We are just outside the top 10, so we're looking to maybe grab a couple of points here today as well. That is always nice. And the used set of softs. Oh, that does not sound good to me. And that is why they have us only go for 6 laps on those. So used set of softs, that's never good to hear. So let's see if we can make a one-stopper work. Ideally, maybe go for the mediums. Like a used set of mediums would even be better, I think. But yeah, we are in a pickle with this strategy. We're just gonna have to push it as far as possible and see what we can do. Yeah, they are predicting us to box around lap 16. Well, 12 to 16 should be the pit window. We're going to try and stretch it as far as possible to try and avoid using a used set of softs and maybe do a one-stop. Colapinto ahead of us, starting on the medium tires, so he has opted for probably the reverse strategy of what I am doing. Right now we're just crawling around. Let's warm up the tires real good and get them ready for the race start. See if we can get a good parking here.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts.
Alright, we are ready for the main race here today in Shanghai. After a good sprint, let's see if we can get a just as good race here, as the 5 red lights go out pretty quickly and Hadjar doesn't get the best of starts. We get an absolutely flyer. Into turn 1 we're going to gain a couple of positions. Are we going to gain one more here on the Red Bull? We absolutely are. And hanging around the outside. The Ferrari is a little bit in the way there, but we have absolutely done Tsunoda on this race start. And down the inside, we're down the inside of Hamilton. We have made it up into P6 in the first 3 corners of this Grand Prix. What a race start from our side. Amazing race start. And that is going to be vital for us. Both in the hopes of maybe getting away with a good result here. If we can stay in this end of the grid as we get a tank slapper there. Going to use a little bit of ERS here to try and keep up with Leclerc and Russell, because the DRS is valuable. It's going to be very valuable here. And Hamilton down the inside. He's still
All right,
there.
let's focus now for the rest of the race.
We managed to get past the Briton once again.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Thank you, Mark. And only 2 DRS zones here at China. So we have to make it count, and it is towards the end of the lap as well. So that's what makes it a little bit more difficult as well. We are keeping up with Leclerc and the front pack here so far. Hamilton has broken away from Tsunoda as well. So even if he starts to attack us, oh, big slide there. Whoa, once again. 2 big moments there, but we are going to get the DRS. To try and defend, we're just going to defend the outside here. So we have pretty good experience with that. Oh, a little bit of an over rev there. But yeah, once again, like it was in Australia, we're going to have to put on a defensive masterclass here if we want a good result.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
Hamilton tries to get past us. I'm gonna send it down the inside again of him. This is gonna be a little bit more difficult than I thought, maybe. We're currently pulling a bit of a train. Whoa! Big slide there. But we save it once again. Let's see, what does Hamilton have? We don't have DRS now. So this could become very tricky very quickly. We might have to let him go. Oh, but he brakes very late. Whoa! Big slide there. Up next behind us is Yuki Tsunoda. Good thing is now, if we can stay with Hamilton, we have the DRS. Oh, and we're pushing Hamilton almost through turn 1. We don't quite have the mechanical grip that the Ferrari has. At least not at the moment. But we are sticking with him, it seems. Oh, we're just outside of DRS at the moment. I think the detection is a little bit earlier. We might get the DRS here. Oh, big slide again. We might not have something to defend with here. We are going to get the DRS, but it is going to be difficult. Tsunoda is going to fly past us here. Maybe not, actually. Not quite. So the Japanese driver not able to make it count.
And gap to the car in front, 1.5 seconds. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 6.5 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mark. Ollie is a little bit closer this time around. But yeah, we are struggling at the moment.
Okay, mate, Tsunoda behind. We want to keep them behind, please. It's critical for our race.
What do you think I'm doing? I am going to do my very best to try and keep Yuki Tsunoda behind. But these tires are starting to go off a little bit faster than I might have expected.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Thank you.
Right, I'm afraid we didn't quite meet our targets there, but don't worry about it. Get your head down and chin up, and let's focus on the rest of this race.
We're able to get in front of him again, and I think maybe Piastri and Hamilton are battling in front. As the Briton gets ahead of the Australian. Oh, the tires are starting to wear down a little bit. And yeah, Hamilton gets past Piastri. And he is now up into P5. And he looks to have the pace to maybe chase down whoever's in front of him. And here comes Tsunoda again.
Okay, we've lost a position. That's us down a place.
Gonna try and dive it down the inside of him again. We are holding up the entirety of the grid, it seems. At the moment. Yeah, we don't have the pace to keep Tsunoda behind us, ideally. But, or if it was to be correct, but it is what it is. We're gonna give it a good shot. How are the tires doing? They are starting to wear. Quite a bit, actually. We are not that far into the Grand Prix even. So for the tire wear to already be this critical, it's not good. We have a lot more ERS this time around.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 3.2 seconds.
Let's get some ERS burning here. Oh, Tsunoda trying to pull in front of us while moving under braking. That's not very nice of him. As Ollie is into the pits, so he's taking an early stop. That is surprising to say the least.
Ollie's in the pits. Ollie in the pits now.
I wonder if people are starting to make their first stops at the moment, and that the pit window is a lot earlier than what we anticipated. I mean, that might be the case. Because these tires are absolutely dreadful. It's a miracle that Tsunoda hasn't gotten past us yet. But yeah, at the moment we are managing the ERS deployment quite nicely. And that is what is keeping us ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. And now it is Franco Colapinto who is trying to attack us, and not the Red Bull of Tsunoda. So Colapinto briefly ahead of Tsunoda, and we have broken
okay,
the
keep an eye on
DRS
that
gap.
gap ahead, please. 4.6 seconds.
Oh, the tires are getting worse by the minute. This is very difficult. This track also very, very hard on on the tires. So that is really not helping our case.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
Don't worry, Mark. I have it all under control. Tsunoda has broken a gap to Colapinto as well. So that is nice. Tsunoda briefly wanted to go for the outside there. But he got baited.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs. Gap to your teammate behind, 30.5 seconds.
I'm just questioning whether or not we are going to be able to make it with the softs and then going on to the mediums. That could be very tricky. Could indeed be very tricky. But, I mean, what choice do we really have? Don't really think we have a choice, unfortunately, at the moment. Ooh. Yeah, the tires are very difficult to control right now. We are also over the 40% mark, so that is never a good look. Tsunoda again trying the inside, which has not worked for him once. Because he's braking a little bit too early.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.7 seconds.
So we're losing big time to Piastri in front. I wasn't expecting to catch him anytime soon either. But I mean, we could technically go onto a set of mediums, see how far we can take them. Or we could also just stick it out on these. We're sticking it out, I think, at the moment. They are getting very, very horrible at the moment, though, the tires. But it seems like we're pulling away from Colapinto, at least. Despite the huge amounts of trouble and lack of grip that we have at the current moment. Oh my days. Yeah, the tires are really not feeling good. Going on to mediums next time we stop. And then we'll see what happens. We're boxing at the end of this one.
We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap.
Copy that.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
I'm very surprised that Colapinto has made it work so far with the mediums. Maybe the mediums are just a better race tire. And they can maybe go a little bit longer than you think.
Okay, mate, lap times are a little erratic at the moment. We need consistency, so let's try and stabilise them.
Don't worry. I don't feel like we have erratic lap times. Maybe my metric is a little bit different. Stroll is out of the race now.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Ooh. But not anything that warrants a safety car. Unfortunately. And Tsunoda, I think he might have finally gotten past us. Whee! As he moves. I hate when he does that. When he moves under braking. I need to get ahead of him here. Heading into the pits. Now we're just going to take it nice and easy. No need to rush it.
Don't worry about that target for now. Let's just focus on this pit stop.
All right. Let's go.
Okay, off we go. Back into the race.
2.4.
Perfect job from you and
That's
the crew
decent.
there, mate. We're delighted with that.
That's decent.
All right, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy.
That's fine. Let's see how far the mediums can go. Now we're just gonna have to push. Try and avoid the undercut from Yuki Tsunoda.
Okay, this is not your true position. They haven't pitted yet, so don't waste time fighting them. They're going to be coming in soon.
Okay. That is fine. So we are currently in a battle with Yuki Tsunoda to try and maintain position ahead of the Red Bull driver. Once he stops, that remains to be seen when that is.
The car ahead's tyres are approaching the cliff. Let's push and see if we can use this to
We
our advantage.
have
Come on.
Gasly into the
Okay,
pits.
gap to the car ahead. 7.4 seconds.
Let's see what we can do. It feels like my knee on the right side is starting to cramp up a little bit, which is no good. That's not what you need when you're using your pedals.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. So there might be a little bit of trouble here. It looks as if maybe we could get some rain as well, but the forecast did say that it was going to get a little bit cloudy. But it didn't predict any rain. But let's hear what the engineer has to say.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
I mean, as long as that is the case, I am also fine with it. And there's a bunch of drivers into the pits now. Nice.
You're running low on ERS. Reminder that you can play around with ERS modes in the MFD or lift sometimes and ease onto the brake pedal for some manual recharge.
And we take a little bit too much curb there. That was not the intention. Whew.
Okay, mate. Right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this.
Thank you. And we are we halfway? We're just about halfway at the moment. It's heating up at the moment.
Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate.
And a load of drivers boxing Piastri behind us. So we have done a good set of lap times on our undercut or overcut. I always forget which way.
The car behind's just boxed for mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre now. Okay, gap to the car in front, 5.5 seconds.
Cool. Mediums are doing well at the moment. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, that's Piastri.
Okay, clear.
Piastri is having a problem. And the championship leader might be out of the race. That is huge for the championship. Yeah, there we go. Oscar Piastri out of the race. We only have mediums or hards remaining. At the moment, what does the tyre wear look like? It's okay. We're currently up into P6. Or might we even get another position here on Hamilton? Not quite.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 11.9 seconds.
Not quite ahead of Hamilton. Which is okay, it's fine. That is totally okay. P6 at the moment, Hulkenberg up into P7 behind us. I think he is definitely making another stop. So he is out of position. As for us, depends. It really does depend on quite a lot of things. I mean, at the moment, Tsunoda has to get past Hulkenberg first. And if we can just run our laps, it should be fine. At the moment we are doing okay lap times. It's nothing too spectacular, but also not too bad. Whoa! As I say that though, we get a big snap of oversteer. I'm gonna have to find my way back onto the track in an alternative fashion here. But yeah, luckily we didn't get spun around. A big moment there though.
Okay, gap ahead, 6.4 seconds.
We're gonna have to take it easy now. try and conserve the tires, because we are faster than Hulkenberg. He's on worn softs. So if he can just hold up Tsunoda and the rest of the drivers behind him for a little bit, that would be very much appreciated.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy.
Oops.
Come on.
We dipped the wheel into the grass there. That's not the correct thing to do. And Tsunoda is past Hulkenberg. So Tsunoda is coming for us now. What is the tyre wear looking like? It's okay. It's nothing too serious. If we just take it nice and easy, there shouldn't be any trouble. And temperatures are also looking good, so everything is working according to plan at the moment. We just need the tires to make the distance. And Hadjar has gotten past Hulkenberg as well. I think Hulkenberg might have boxed. So now the two Red Bull cars, or the two Bulls, have a clear shot at me. Let's see what they can do. They still have 5 seconds to close before we start battling. If we can minimize the time loss over the course of the next, I want to say 5 laps, we could have something good on our hands here. Fuel at the moment is no problem. And it seems like Hadjar is entertaining Tsunoda. Whoa. As we are entertaining ourselves.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
As Behrman is into the pits for his second stop.
Right, Ollie's coming in for his stop.
At the moment, it's alright with the time loss. But we need to get a grip soon here. A little bit of grip. Tsunoda seems to have trouble. So he's lost
and
a bit of
gap to the car
contact
in
with
front,
Isaac Hadjar.
12.5 seconds.
And yeah, there's no way we're catching the cars in front today. They are in a league of their own. And at the moment, we are not in a position to fight them. Or fight with them, rather. But we're doing okay right now. We're minimizing the time loss to Hadjar. So if we can just keep this up, we should be good for a one stop, a bit of an alternative one, all that being said. We should probably have started on the mediums if we wanted the one stop to be ideal. But that is what it is. Can't change that now. It is what it is. Oy, almost the end of the race there. We almost spun into the wall. It seems like we've found a rhythm that is only losing us about half a second a lap. Ideally less than that. So far so good. Hadjar was not the bigger threat of the two drivers behind us. That was very much clearly Tsunoda.
The Haas drivers in the pits.
And Behrman into the pits yet again.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
As Verstappen is into the pits, okay. So a lot of drivers making a second stop. I think we're going to try and brave this one. We have 6 laps to go. We have a chance of getting some good points here. Hadjar is ahead of Verstappen. He's 2.2 seconds back. We made a bit of a mistake off turn 1. So that wasn't the best way to go about it. So here we go. Let's try and do this one stop. Even though it's going to be really difficult.
You should be feeling the effects of some tyre wear soon, so stay on your toes.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I am very well aware.
Pit now, pit now.
We are not boxing. We're trying to stick this one out. This might be stupid, but we're trying it. And I don't think we're the only one who's trying this. Let's see. We're currently in a very lofty P5. Here comes Verstappen.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 17.9 seconds.
Oh, Max, I don't want to fight you. Just get ahead.
Okay, mate, your lap times are all over the place right now. We've got to have consistency. Come on, we can do better than this.
If we could just stick with him here, we could get the DRS for the upcoming straight. I think it's going to be difficult, but we're going to give it a try. Ah, that was too much to hope for. Realistically. And now we have the presence of Hadjar behind us. Let's see if we can defend from him. Tsunoda wasn't quite able to do it. Is Hadjar. Not on the first attempt. So far, so good. Ooh, we run a little bit wide. Max instantly posting the fastest lap time of the race.
Gap to your teammate behind, 29.8 seconds.
And Ollie is having a woeful race. Oh, we run very wide there. That's not ideal. And Hadjar is there. We're going to have to be careful. Is he going to try and attack us? He is. But he's not going to be successful. We have 4 laps to go. This is going to be a sweaty one. To see if we can retain this P6. It's not going to be easy at all. But we will have lost way more time trying to stay out or trying to box and go for a two-stopper. Here we go. Hadjar is going to try it again. I don't think he's going to be successful. Once again, he's going to slip to the inside. Make it alongside us, but not past us. As we send it around the outside again. Whoa, we almost did an Alexander Albon there. Those who know. Into turn 1. Is Hadjar going to try it again? Yeah, he is, but he's not going to be successful just yet. And these tires are starting to show their wear. Oh, as we do touch with Hadjar there. Not ideal. Bit of contact, that was probably on my part. I do apologize. Because I was swerving a little bit too much maybe.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
We're not boxing, Mark. Out of the snail section. You see Colapinto is starting to close up. This is going to be a hard-fought battle if we finish P6 here. This is a tough one. But at the moment we are doing everything necessary. Whew. Right now, what is the tire? Oh, the tire wear is insane. We're gonna have to try it. We might be at the risk of a puncture. It is what it is. I'm gonna take that gamble. We should have run the hards a little bit longer in hindsight, but it is what it is. We can't change that fact now. Colapinto has joined the fight. So let's see, what can the pair of them do? Colapinto swings by. Ooh. Bit touch and go there, but we get past him again. And Colapinto has made it ahead of Hadjar. Whew. And to the inside here comes Colapinto. Not quite for the Argentinian. But the pressure is mounting. We have this plus one more lap to go of this Grand Prix. P6 would be absolutely wonderful for us if we could finish here. The car is definitely not at this pace level just yet. But after a good qualifying, I mean, then anything can really happen.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 19.5 seconds.
I'm not focused on what is ahead of us, Mark. Alright, this one is probably going to be a little bit tough. We have Colapinto, Hadjar, Tsunoda, and what I can only assume is the Mercedes of Antonelli. Colapinto pulls in front of us, moving under braking. Once again, we're able to stick it around the outside of the Alpine though. As we almost stick it into the wall. Onto the final lap.
Okay, nice work. Really good job with that target, mate.
This one has been tough. But if we are able to bring these points home, it would have been worth every single moment of this Grand Prix.
Final lap, final lap. Push, push.
Tires are completely dead right now. So we're also going to have to be careful there. We are probably in puncture territory at the moment. So we're going to have to be careful. Let's quickly check. Yeah, we are well within puncture territory. On that, on those left tire, or rear tires rather. But they just need to hold on for 2 more straights and 2 more corners. And then they would have done everything asked of them. Let's see. Here comes Isaac Hadjar. No, that's Colapinto. We're going to have to outbrake him here. Ooh, big braking zone. Get it rotated. And we stay ahead of the Argentine. And I think, unless we get a puncture right here at the end, that is enough for P6. And what a race from our side. Wow.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Whew. That was a difficult one. What a race. And rightfully so, we get driver of the day as well. We started P11, we finished P6. We scored 8 points.
For the last time, Lando Norris is victorious.
Whew.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
And no questions about who was best today. That was definitely Lando Norris. He finishes this race on top, and I think it was it Leclerc?
So much
on
to
the
talk
podium
about.
with
We will
him,
continue
together
to
with
do so, but
Red
first
Bull?
it is time for the podium.
Or how was
And
it?
Lando Norris holds the trophy aloft.
No, both Ferraris finish on the podium together. So a double podium for the Scuderias here in China. And what a great result for them as well. Now with Oscar Piastri retiring from the race, that is going to do them quite nicely in the Constructors' Championship. But once again, we drive an absolutely wonderful Grand Prix. And, I mean, staying out of trouble is just proving to be everything that is necessary.
Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
And look at that. A total of 12 points from this race weekend, with both the race and the sprint points added up. So Norris wins in the Grand Prix ahead of Leclerc, Hamilton and Russell. Then it's Verstappen who finishes just ahead of us. And we managed to hold off both Franco Colapinto and Isaac Hadjar towards the end. Yuki Tsunoda as well finishes behind us yet again, together with Kimi Antonelli. So not a good day for the Red Bull squad. Verstappen leaving China with 17 points, Tsunoda only with 2. So 19 points in total. That is not good enough for them if they want to retain any hopes of potentially challenging for the Constructors' Championship. And we get a whole load of experience points here. Let's go. And we rise to an overall rating of 67. So good stuff right there. And again, we beat our teammate in the inter-team battle. That is going to do us wonderfully as well. But what a race. And that one was definitely more tricky than Australia. Australia was probably just down to our own mistakes that we didn't finish higher than what we did. Here it was a lot more tricky for sure. But let's see here. Whew. And our performance compared to our competitors, I mean, we are relatively closely matched with Alpine, VCARB, Williams, and I want to say Aston Martin as well. But look at this, we have our first upgrade. And it didn't come through. That sucks.
Right, I'm afraid to say that we've had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, and the entire development package for the weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
And that is unfortunate. It was a durability upgrade for the gearbox. What's it going to cost to redevelop it? It's going to cost 200 resource points. We're going to have to redevelop it. It should arrive before the Bahrain Grand Prix. So no worries there. And 338. I mean, we can't really develop anything. We are developing everything that is available to us. As you can see right here, we are developing 3 upgrades while Behrman is developing 2. And they should arrive just before Bahrain. So Bahrain is probably the first Grand Prix where we're going to have a big upgrade package arrive. And that means the next Grand Prix, which is the Japanese Grand Prix, we're going to have to make do with what we have and try and do our best. And I can't remember, is there... No, there isn't a Grand Prix before that, before we go to Bahrain. So for round 4, we should have, hopefully, a good upgrade package. Otherwise, hopefully it can arrive for Saudi Arabia just before we go to our first of 3 home Grand Prix in this season, and that is, of course, the Miami Grand Prix. As for the championship, we are sitting quite comfortably in P7. We are not anywhere close to George Russell in P6, and Antonelli behind us in P8. He is close, but he is not like dangerously close. It is only 5 points, but I am expecting him to overtake me at some point. And as for the constructors, once again, comfortably in P5. So that is very, very lovely. And hopefully we can stay ahead of both Alpine, Aston and Racing Bulls. I'm not too worried about Kick-Sauber and Williams because they are quite far behind. But yeah, next up is going to be the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. That's going to be for next episode because I think this one has already been quite long enough, considering that it was a sprint weekend. So we're going to end it here, but I want to thank everyone who's been watching live for tuning in, and I also want to give thanks to those who choose to watch it following the live stream, because it definitely does help, and it means quite a lot. So I very much appreciate it. But make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, if you enjoyed today's stream. And in order to not miss the next live stream, I would highly suggest to turn on the notification bell. That way, as soon as I go live, you will get the notification that we are in progress. So I think we're just going to let it hang there. I want to wish everyone a very blessed Friday. And until we see each other again, have a wonderful day and goodbye.